cards, my friends, where time rewinds and never ends. Josh the collector leads the way in a world of heroes from yesterday.
What is going on, everybody? It's Josh here. We got another episode of Old School Cards. We're talking episode 21, and it's a playoff hockey episode. We can't get away from it. It's been too exciting, too much fun. I hope you guys are thoroughly enjoying the playoff hockey season. So we got a great show for you today, and we're going to get right into everything that's going on in the playoff hockey world, the stuff that Mikko Rantanen is doing. It is crazy. And we're going to talk sports cards. So we're getting excited over here. School's about to be out for me, so I can focus more on my card stuff and take a little break, getting ready for the Dallas Card Show. So let's get going. Episode 21. All hockey, all day. Here we go. We're talking market thoughts initially. And this is a generic heading that I like to use for things that I want to talk about in the hobby market. So a couple things I want to talk about. Today, I want to talk about looking at sports cards as an investment. Here's what I have to say. Sports cards are not really an investment. They are, but they're not. They're not an investment that you are probably going to see huge dividends from. You have flippers and stuff like that in the industry, but really, they're just guessing and getting lucky. They're taking educated guesses and they're getting lucky. There's no way to predict that a guy is going to do great things and his market's going to go through the roof. You have no control over what happens with their cards, how many get produced, whether they get cards, whether they don't get cards. And what do I mean by that? This is what I mean. Mike Trout's perfect example. His paper rookie card in 2011 update is highly valuable. Why? Because he didn't have a ton of rookie cards in other sets or series. We have no control over that. Maybe you recognize that, but then you got to bank on the fact that he's going to be a great player, have a great career, which to this point he has. He's been injured 4 out of the last 5 years, which have caused his market prices to drop. You have to be okay in the sports card industry with being a collector, loving the sport because you love the sport, and then you want to collect the cards because it connects you to your childhood or it connects you more to the sport. Maybe you didn't collect cards when you were a kid, but you collect them now. You should not be thinking, well, if I get this card, it'll be worth. All that stuff is long down the road, and you will never get what you think you're supposed to get out of it. And every once in a while, you might get really lucky and a card will go through the roof. Prime example, a couple years ago, I had purchased a bunch of Evan Carter First Bowman Chromes. I purchased 4. I sent those 4 cards to PSA. They all got PSA 10s. Well, I'm sitting on all 4 of these cards, and the Texas Rangers make the playoffs. So when they made the playoffs, I list all 4 of his cards for $100 a piece on eBay. And they all sold within 5 days, $100 each. Guess where Evan Carter is today? Evan Carter is on their AAA roster. He's not even on the Major League roster, but he got called up. He had a good month of September, and people were clamoring for his stuff. Guys, that's pure luck. Am I a coach? I get paid to coach. I can tell you guys who are going to be good, not going to be good, but I have to get my eyes on them. I have to interact with them. I have to know about what's going on in their personal life. Are they able to focus on what they're trying to do? Like all that stuff factors in. And opportunity and all of these things. So the first point that I wanted to make today was, if we're talking investing in cards, the only way you can look at it in a certain way, like, oh, I want to get into cards to make money. You need to be a dealer, you need to be a breaker, something like that. You cannot have any attachment to any of the cards. And in that, you're going to take losses. You're not going to win on every single card you buy. Some cards you win, other cards you lose. And the goal is to make more or to win more than you lose, so you actually will make a profit. Everybody is going to go 100% for 100% on everything they do. People bought Patrick Mahomes rookie cards, and then they used those cards to buy houses and stuff. That's a great story. That's super cool. Something very cool for our community. But that doesn't happen to everybody. And that's very, very rare. You have to be okay with collecting the cards because you enjoy collecting the cards. And then whatever happens, happens. Will they be worth something? Yeah, maybe most likely they won't be worth nothing. We all have guys that we like, and then maybe there are some guys that you buy their stuff knowing that it's not going to be worth anything, but you really like that player. That's the whole point, guys. The whole point of collecting sports cards is that extra level of connection to the game. So don't get into sports cards don't come here thinking I'm going to give you all this great advice about, I know I talk about prices on cards all the time. I'm just telling you what the opportunity is currently to purchase that card for. If you're thinking about getting that card, maybe now's the time to go because this is the price. I'm not telling you guys that you should be buying this guy, selling that guy. That's not what I'm here to do. I'm here to share the passion of collecting with the community. That's all it is. And the second thing I want to talk about, since we're talking about collecting, one of the most valuable skills in sports cards is patience. Maybe it's a good way to learn patience if you lack in patience, but I can tell you this: if you're patient, good things come. When you're impatient, you make irrational decisions. No good decisions come out of desperation. Oh, I gotta have this. No good decision will ever come from that. Patience is critical in the sports card community. Immensely critical. And I'll give you an example of what I mean. I personally don't like to bid on cards and compete with people. Sometimes it's a good way to get a card at a cheaper price, but I'm not trying really to compete. I actually my preferred method of buying is buy it now on eBay. And how can I be patient with that? Great question. And this is how I do it. I will look for certain cards, certain players. I'll do generic searches like Wayne Gretzky inserts, and I will save that search. Or I will just search that, and then I'll just scroll through and find cards. I may even change the filters to buy it now only. And then what I do is I go through and I'll do research on the cards that interest me. And if it's within a good price range, or I want to go back and check on a card, because I don't do it all at one time, what I'll do is I'll go through and I'll flag a bunch of cards. I hit the little heart button on eBay, like, right? And that saves it to your watch list. Well, here's where patience comes into play. I can go back through, I can look up comps, I can look at prices on those cards, find out if what they're asking is reasonable, is it unreasonable, do I like it, do I not like it? Then what I do is I like to sleep on it for a little bit. And I'm okay with I think since I've been back collecting cards in about 7 years, maybe once or twice have I liked a card that I was going to buy and then it sold before I could buy it, once or twice. And this is why it's important to be patient. I'll watch that card and I'll put it in my watch list. I'll do some research. I'll say, hey, do I really want this? Do I really want that? And I go through that process mentally of, is this something I want to add into my collection? Well, then guess what happens? Then I get an email saying that the buyer has discounted that item. So I haven't even had to negotiate with them, and they're already dropping the price because they know that I'm watching their item, and now they're offering a discount. A lot of times when they do that, you can open that up and send them a counter offer. You can tell them, hey, would you take this? That's where the patience comes in. I could have just maybe paid $140 for that card, but I do the research. I see that the card is valued around 110. I'm liking the card. A couple days goes by. I get an email saying, hey, the seller has discounted this card to 125. And then I send them an offer for 110, and we maybe settle at 110 or 115. Maybe they accept it. But here I go. Now I just got the card that I was looking at, but because I didn't have to have it right now, I saved myself $30. And $30 is $30 I can go spend on another card or go buy a food for a day or something else. So in collecting cards, you just have to be smart. Like, you don't have to jump on it. Now, granted, there have been occasions where I've been looking for certain players, especially vintage guys, and someone will post a card up. I think the card is beautiful, and I'm like, wow, that card is way underpriced, and I want it. And because I've been looking at those cards, I know that that card is underpriced. Or when I say underpriced, they're asking below what I feel that card is worth. And there have been a couple of times where I'm like, okay, boom, bought it right then and there. Then the card comes, and I'm completely happy with that purchase. But when you exercise patience in the card community, good things happen. I'm not talking about abstinence. I'm not talking about stepping away completely. I'm just talking about being selective with your purchases, being patient, and doing it in a smart fashion that allows you to spend your money more wisely, and then in turn gives you the opportunity to make more purchases because you save money in the long run. It's almost like a different version of auctions, because in auctions you're competing with other people. In buy it now, you're competing with the seller, but you're waiting them out. Essentially, you're telling them, like, yeah, I like this card, but not at that price. So they drop it. And then maybe they drop it a little more because they're trying to move the card too, and you're trying to buy that card. So instead of competing, and maybe somebody does come in and buy it. I've had that happen many a times where if I list a card for sale, I try to put it at a fair price, maybe a few dollars under, so it will move. And then inevitably I'll get offers, and guess what? I'll go to bed, I wake up the next day, and that card sold. Guess why? Because somebody else came in and paid full price for it because it was already undervalued or marked for sale undervalued. So it's a game that you get to play. It's a collector's game, but at the same time, you can use it to your advantage from a selling perspective too. If you already know that you're being realistic with your pricing and putting it under what other cards similar to that are going for, you know you have a good price. Just because you put on offers doesn't mean you have to accept it. And sooner or later, somebody finds the value in that and comes along and scoops it up. So there may be a lot of people who say, oh, don't do that. I tried to get this card, and hey, that's because they were trying to get a better deal or get one over on somebody or whatever. If you're being reasonable about how you go about buying cards and being patient, it usually works out in your benefit as the collector. We're going to move on, but that's my market thoughts. Patience, and do not buy cards thinking that they're an immediate return. There are so many better things that you can invest your money in to make money. Don't do it in cards. Let cards be the hobby that it is. Enjoy it for what it is. Let it connect you to the game. Let it connect you to the childhood and those memories. Don't make it something that it's not. So, since we are in a hockey episode, it's a playoff hockey episode. We're going right into Blue Liner of the Week. I took minimal notes this week. I just wanted to talk and kind of let it flow and see where it went. But this week's two Blue Liners, Evan Bouchard and Thomas Harley, you'll see a theme in the hot players in the playoffs. Keep in mind, I believe everybody who made the list this week are all still playing, and that's going to be normal because we're in playoff season. So as teams get eliminated, guys' point totals and stuff get stuck where they are. So we're talking number one, Evan Bouchard. So since the beginning of the playoffs, 4 goals, 7 assists for 11 points, and 26 minutes, 36 seconds time on ice as a D-man for the Oilers. He's playing great. 11 points, that's phenomenal. When we're looking at his card, he's a 2018 Upper Deck card number 221, so that should be Series 1. 1,307 cards graded at PSA. 726 of those are PSA 10s. 504 are PSA 9s. I always put the 9s up there too, just because I personally like to purchase 9s and not 10s of players. Your hobby dollar goes a lot farther that way. So he's had 20 sales in the last 90 days. Last sale, $72.21 on a PSA 10, 5/11 of 25, May 11th, 2025. And his gem rate on this card is 55.5%, but the average price over the last 90 days, $65.93. Our second Blue Liner, our defensive pair, Thomas Harley of the Dallas Stars. 3 goals, 5 assists for 8 points, 27 minutes, 11 seconds time on ice. He is a 2020 Upper Deck Series 1, should be Series 1, card number 227. He has 184 guards graded at PSA. PSA 10s are 95 cards. PSA 9s, he has 70 cards. The average sale price over the last 90 days, $49.12. However, he's had 5 sales in the last 90 days, and the last sale was March 20th, 2025 for $34. And the gem rate for his card getting a PSA 10 is 51.6%. So those are our two Blue Liners. Edmonton obviously playing well, and Dallas playing well. Thomas Harley getting a more prominent role with Miro Heiskanen still yet to make an appearance in the playoffs. So they are relying heavily on Harley, but he is producing. He is sucking up minutes and scoring. So that's probably a big reason why they're still playing. Now we're going to look at the poke check portion, which is our best goalie so far of the playoffs. And you can see right here, to this point, it has been Jake Ottinger of the Dallas Stars. He has a little bit of a high goals allowed per game, 2.71, but he is a .911 save percentage. You have to remember that once we get into the playoffs, everybody is good. So he is putting these numbers up against really good teams. The Dallas Stars had the Colorado Avalanche in the first round, which is a huge, crazy first-round matchup that both teams had high odds to win the cup. So the fact that Dallas survived and moved on is a big testament to Jake Ottinger. And if you've been watching the playoffs at all, you'll have seen that even against Winnipeg, it hasn't gotten any easier. Winnipeg is the President's Trophy. They had the best record in the NHL. So they went from playing a Stanley Cup favorite and beating them in 7 games. And now they are up 2-1 against the Winnipeg Jets. And the opposing goalie who's going to win the Vezina is Connor Hellebuck. So Ottinger is putting up some big numbers against big-time teams and high-threat scores. And he deserves to be on this list for sure. Currently, he has 2,712 cards graded with PSA. 1,391 of those are PSA 10s. 1,071 of those are PSA 9s. The 90-day average for a PSA 10 is $70.95. He has a 2020 Upper Deck Series 1 card number 246. He's had 27 sales in the last 90 days, and the last sale was for $58 on May 10th, 2025, the day before Mother's Day. And his gem rate on his Young Gun for a PSA 10 is 51.3%. So that's your number one goalie at not quite the halfway point through the Stanley Cup playoffs, Jake Ottinger. Moving into the top 3 forwards thus far in the playoffs, we have 3 good ones: Connor McDavid, Mikko Rantanen, and one that most people maybe don't talk about enough is William Nylander. I was listening to the Hockey Cards Gong Show podcast this morning, and Baba Louie picked William Nylander as his Who's Hot pick for the week. And he definitely has been really hot, but nobody has been hotter than Mikko Rantanen. This has been the story of the playoffs. It is turning everybody's head in the hockey world. He has single-handedly taken out his old team, the Colorado Avalanche. There's so much talk about how that whole thing got screwed up by him being traded prior to the deadline, allowed him to get moved at the deadline to a contender against who just so happened to be in their division. He got traded to Carolina, was not playing well there, or wasn't really fitting in well there. He wasn't playing bad, but he was not being dominant like he has been since being moved to Dallas and in this playoff run. And in turn, Carolina, who's in the Eastern Conference, when they couldn't agree to extension on Rantanen, they moved him to Dallas, and Dallas immediately got the extension done for $12 million a year through 2034, I believe. Then they go to the first round, and guess who they get to play? The Colorado Avalanche. And Rantanen took over games 5, 6, and 7. He scored a hat trick in game 7, basically between him and Ottinger, to send the Avalanche home for the summer and tell them, hey, we'll see you next year. And then the very next game, game 1 against Winnipeg, scored another hat trick. So two games, 2 hat tricks. And then yesterday in game 3 against Winnipeg, had another 3-point game. So all in all, 9 goals, 9 assists, 18 points. He's just a +2, but he is probably front runner for the Conn Smythe to win the MVP of the playoffs, especially if Dallas can get to the Cup final and Rantanen keeps playing at his pace, he will run away with that award, because one of the other guys is Kyle Connor, and they're playing them in this round. So let's look at his card. 2,714 cards graded at PSA. 1,228 of those are PSA 10s. 1,181 of those are PSA 9s. The average over the last 90 days, $123. He's a 2015 Upper Deck Series 1, card number 206. He has had 58 sales, the top of the list out of everybody on our list this week. 58 sales in the last 90 days. Last sale, almost double that, $204 on May 11th for his PSA 10. So that number is trending up. So his average may have been 123, but the way that's a testament to how Rantanen's been playing in the playoffs. Phenomenal. Someone having another good playoff, Connor McDavid. His numbers are lopsided. 3 goals, 13 assists for 16 points, but he is a +6. But he's been known to do that the last couple of years where he gets a ton of points off of assists, and that's probably because he's playing a lot with good scorers like Draisaitl and stuff like that. But 16 points, that's nothing to scoff at, and he has definitely been a playmaker for the Oilers. Looking at his cards, 7,188 cards graded at PSA, 3,145 of those are 10s, 2,864 of them are 9s. His average price for the last 90 days, $2,247. Over the last 90 days, 42 sales, 42 over the last 90. Last sale of a PSA 10, $2,415, came on May 8th, 2025. He is also out of 2015 Upper Deck Series 1, card number 201, and his gem rate, 43.8%. Now we are moving into the last individual on the list, William Nylander. So Nylander plays with Mitch Marner, John Tavares, Austin Matthews, and he just quietly goes about his business, getting his points, and he's a lot more balanced. 6 goals, 9 assists, 15 points. He is, however, a -1. But obviously that has not a lot to do with him because he's put up 15 points this playoffs, and they are playing really good hockey. The Leafs in years past have looked like they really struggled in the playoffs. I guess the word would be that they didn't look like they belonged there. But this year is different. I watch pretty much every playoff game every night, and the Leafs are giving the Stanley Cup champion Florida Panthers a good run. It's a great series. The series is tied 2 games apiece. The home teams won in both barns, but they're playing a little different, and I think a lot of it is just the confidence of guys like Nylander and going out there and just getting the job done. Let's look at his card. 2,664 cards graded at PSA. 1,678 of those cards are PSA 10. 800 of those cards are PSA 9. The average for the last 90 days, $177. And he has a 2016 Upper Deck Series 1, card number 249. He's had 27 sales over the last 90 days. And the last sale is a little up on that, but $200 on May 11th of 2025 for a PSA 10. And he also happens to be the one with the highest gem rate at 63%. So quite a few cards and 63%. So almost 2 out of 3 cards are Mr. Nylander PSA 10ing. I don't know if those were graded previously, probably not anymore. That number I would suspect to go down with the changes that have been made at PSA recently. Now, I used this tile, 600 goal history, just because I wanted to give everybody an update on my set for 600 goal scores. I'm not going to talk about a 600 goal score today. I've already gone kind of long, but I wanted to show you guys my 600 goal score collection. I'm getting closer and closer to finishing, and I'm getting excited because I should add a couple pieces to that collection here in the next couple months when I go to the Dallas Card Show and the 4th of July weekend. So I just want you guys to enjoy it. I wanted to show what I got, and this is where we're at so far. So I've got Yager. That's a PSA 7. A Brett Hull in a PSA 8. A Dion, a Marcel Dion, a PSA 5. all 3 600 goal scorers. Then we have our Mike Gardner in a 5, beautiful 5. Our Messier in a 5, and our Iserman in an 8, 600 goal scorers. Moving on, probably the biggest card so far in this collection is my Lemieux right there. And then I have a Solani in an 8, a Robitaille in an 8. I try to get collector's grade if I can, but if it's just too pricey, I'm just trying to build the set. And some of these guys I don't really personally collect, so it's okay if I don't have it. And then also, I'm buying the card, not the grade. Like if the card is beautiful and it just happened to get a bad grade, more better for me, right? This is where I talk about being smart with your hobby dollar, being patient. You can get great cards for great prices because of other people's mistakes. And I'm not talking about the people selling the cards. I'm talking about the grades that come from PSA. Here's my Brendan Shanahan, my Dave Andrechuk, and my Jerome Iginla. All rookie cards, all 600 goal scorers. And I believe this is the last group that I have so far. Joe Sakic, Dino Ciccarelli, and Yari Curry. And I still have Bobby Hull, Gretzky, Ovechkin, Crosby, and Mr. Hockey Gordie Howe to collect. But we're almost there. I have 15 of the 21 players. I have 6 guys left to pick up. But all the other 6 guys are 4-figure cards. So hopefully I can pick up 2. Maybe I can get 3 coming over the summer. But I want to buy those cards in person. So these were all pretty reasonable price. Like I said, probably the most expensive one so far was Lemieux. And I did have some personal pickups for the week. If you didn't know, I am a Stars fan. I also like the Red Wings, but I like the 80s, 90s Red Wings. I currently live in Texas, and this Stars team has really grown on me, getting to watch them the last few years. So these are the 3 pickups I wanted to highlight. The 2 outside cards, it's an 06-07 power play, Sidney Crosby, and an 06-07 power play, Alexander Ovechkin. I think I got those cards for like $3 and $5 each, but it's a second-year Crosby, a second-year Ovechkin. Cool, different cards. And right there in the middle is a rookie premier patch auto out of Upper Deck Premier 2022-2023. And if you look close enough, you'll see it's not a napkin patch. There's stitching on the top and the bottom of that patch. So it's green, white, and then green in that bottom right corner with the silver pen, numbered. Great pickup, I think, for myself. And even better because all the great stuff that Wyatt Johnson has been doing in the playoffs so far. So I hope you guys enjoyed this throwback little to our ode to playoff hockey. Let me know what you guys are collecting. If you want to reach out to me, old school cards 24, the number's 24, at gmail.com. Let me know what you're thinking about the playoffs. Did I get it right? Did I get it wrong when we're talking about card collecting? And maybe I hope you learned something new. Patience is key when it comes to card collecting. It's not he who collects the most toys in the fastest amount of time wins. It's a process, a lifelong. If you want to curate a collection throughout your life, which I have been doing now consistently since 2018, you can't just spend all your money at once, and you don't want to just buy up little here, little there, little this, little that, because that cuts into being able to buy the bigger cards, the cooler cards, the more iconic cards. So you see a good deal on different things, pick it up. I did get some cool stuff. They haven't come yet, but I will be showcasing those coming up here in a couple more episodes. And I just wanted to jump on here, talk playoff hockey, talk hockey cards. It's been a few episodes since I got a chance to really show off my collection and show you what I've been working on. So I definitely want to hear what you guys are working on. Let me know. What are you collecting right now? Are you collecting sets? Did what I have to say give you any kind of perspective or help you make a decision on how you want to collect in the future? Please consider the fact that it's a hobby. It's not an investment market. Granted, the longer you have cards like Ovechkin, Crosby, those types of things, they'll probably will go up over time, but I don't buy these cards for me to turn around and try to sell for $10,000. I may move some cards here, some cards there when I move away from different things or whatever, but I buy these cards because I enjoy them. I plan on displaying them. I do display them, and I like to share them with the community. So let me know, guys. Reach out, oldschoolcards24@gmail.com. Till next time, guys, keep collecting what you love.